would say when I think about Bob, I certainly think about someone who is gentle. I really think about Bob as someone who is caring and very thoughtful person. I've had the opportunity to know Bob in a closer way with our mob group, and probably for the past 5 years, I believe it has been. And over those 5 years, I have watched Bob change dramatically in some areas of his life. I've had a privilege to actually be part of observing that and being involved with him in that. I'm happy for him that he has now made a decision for retirement, but I don't believe that God's done with him right now. I believe that in Jeremiah 29:11, God talks about the plans that he has for us, plans to prosper us, plans to give us a hope and a future. And I believe really that this is actually a beginning for Bob, that God really does have a plan for him. And I'm excited to see what avenues the Lord will use in his life in the future.
I really consider it a privilege to have gotten to know Bob through our mob group, Men of Brightmoor, our Bible study, and I've watched him grow so much over the years. The Lord has done so much in his life, but with Bob, I mean, I really see that he has a real peace about him. He is very gentle and kind. He would give you the shirt off his back. You know, him and Lauren has opened up their house and had us over there for some fellowship as our group, along with all of our wives. And they're a great couple and a great example of a good marriage. And you know, I just love Bob a lot, and I really want to congratulate him on his retirement. And yeah, I don't see him just sitting back in his lounge chair and relaxing. He's going to increase his service to the Lord in a lot of new ways and different ways, and I'm excited to see how the Lord's going to use him in his retirement.
Well, I think he exhibits so many of those fruits, actually, and I'll tell you why. We met, we came to the mob the first week we both had mob together. Here was about 5 years ago. Was the first week that we both had, Bob and I both had with this group. It happened to be the same Saturday, and we started together. And after about the second week, I left here. I walked out in the parking lot with Bob, and I said, "Wow, Bob," I said, "that was really good." And he said, "You know, Brian," he said, "as good as it was," he said, "I think it's just going to keep getting better." And he says, "Yeah," he says, "it's just going to keep getting better." He says, "I really believe that." And that really stood out in my mind. I'll never forget it, because now 5 years later, what it's done for both of us in our lives is, you know, it's indescribable, and it means a lot to both of us. I know it does, and to see Bob grow as a leader and as our teacher now, and everything, it's just it's rewarding. As rewarding for me as it is probably for him, you know. And I feel so blessed to be able to come here every week and do the things that we do. And so the fruits of the Spirit for Bob, is, you know, the gentleness, the kindness, faithfulness, all those things really exhibit his character. And he's such a positive influence on everyone here. Just a blessing to know him and to get to know him and have a relationship with him. And he blesses all of us every week. And it's just great that he's finally retiring. You know, it's good to see that he's going to be able to enjoy his life and life after work, maybe even more than he's ever been able to do that before. So, see you, Bob. We'll see you in the future.
To me, the word that come to mind is Bob's faithfulness. I met Bob approximately 5 years ago through his wife, Lauren, and we were at a dinner. And I remember sharing with Bob about our mob group that meets here at the Birmingham YMCA. And I also mentioned to Bob that there were closer mob groups where he lives at in the community of Commerce. Bob insisted that he would come to Birmingham, which is approximately 15 miles from his house on Saturdays, to meet with our group. Bob's faithfulness to come into this group for the last 5 years have been amazing. To come here in the rain and the snow, and most times he was the first person here at our group. And who would have known that after 5 years that he's now teaching the group. And he's now teaching this group. I was the lead person for our group, and he took my job away from me. He took my job away from me. But Bob, I just have to say, on the behalf of the men in this group, our pastor, Pastor Jamie, the men's leadership board at Brightmoor, we love you. We appreciate your faithfulness, not only to the mob groups, but we appreciate your faithfulness to Brightmoor and to the community where you live. And I wish you the best in retirement, and looking forward to serving with you ongoing in the future.
When we were married 28 years ago, Bob had already been with Batesville for 5 years. Some of you have known Bob longer than I have, and some of you have taken more trips with Bob than I have. With his retirement, I believe that that is about to change. Your friendship, your encouragement, and your support has been a big, big part of our lives for all of these years. We have spent some wonderful and meaningful times with Batesville folks, as well as your customers, whom we have grown to care for. Thank you, Batesville, for being such a great employer. And Bob, I am very proud of you. You have walked in integrity and have been thankful for the blessings of having good work to do all of these years. As a hospice chaplain, I have learned much from you and from those you surround yourself with about how best to care for the dying and those who love them. You have been unwavering in your commitment to God, your family, and to your work. Well done, my dear. There is an article published in 1991 that is hanging on your wall in your office, and it is called The Essence of Bobness. In it, a question is asked. If a Bob falls in the middle of the forest and there is no one around to hear him, will he make a sound? And the answer is yes, of course, a low moan. But then he will get up, he will pick himself up, brush himself off, and continue on with his business. In Bob's case, I believe that that fall would be accompanied by a prayer, help me, and then a heartfelt thank you for grace received. Thank you, Batesville, for letting us be a part of the team for all of these years. And Bob, I am looking forward to continuing our journey and our life story. May God bless you and keep you in His care.